So I decided to make another video on a weekday instead of on Sunday all the time. So I've been seeing this going around a lot more often than now, where I see male exploitation is going on in the black manosphere and overall in society. And I'm pretty much want to call it out. I want to give everybody a understanding on some of these people who come out of nowhere with books, guys who come out of nowhere with the so-called know-it-all, the game, the swag, dating coaches, and all these different people who say they know the answers to everything, but pretty much what they're running is a whole high-level scam that is pretty much is hurting men. And it's putting money in their pockets and then making a lot of guys out here take social shortcuts. So I'm gonna show you what a social shortcut is, and how guys who pretty much they can't get a higher level in social climbing, but by them having a little experience with women and them doing certain things that other guys can't, and they see the climate that we're in where women are ruling the dating game in American society. They see a way of pretty much having the ability to be the big boss inside of a field of men they know they're under. So there's guys out here who pretty much use social shortcuts. And for me, I don't know if that's a definition, but shortcuts is basically, you're not trying to take the long way. Some of these guys have diversionary plan to use certain guys to get themselves in a better social standing than they ever was. See, these guys are never they're never consistent with their rhetoric. When they first, here on YouTube, when you first hear somebody in the beginning, they sound a whole lot different than they sound now, because money comes involved, and fame comes involved, and notoriety comes involved. So you got guys like guys who give out dating advice, life coaches, PUAs, dating coaches, and people who talk about self-improvement. These are the dudes who all take shortcuts. You know why? Because there's a whole big market of men who they know are not getting the kind of women they want. And when they know, these guys knew that they can take advantage of these guys by telling them, giving them advice, and seem like they're better than everybody else. I mean, I had a run-in with guys like Solo TV 84 when he tells me he didn't even know who I am. That's the same thing with Super Sly 84 had a run-in with Q Butter, and pretty much he checked Q Butter by who he knew in the music industry and told him to humble himself. Solo TV 84 told me in one of the comments that I didn't know what I was talking about when I said all you doing is babying women. And then I look at him and I'm like, I can post a picture with my shirt off that I have online, and I bet you at least I have 6-packs, or at least some of my abdominal showing, because that's what I want. But he been in the gym for how long? And he still look flabby. But he says, I don't know what I'm talking about. And that run me the wrong way. But also I saw what he did when he chose the side of Yogi, a dude who used red pill men and MGTOW men to get his message out there and get his subscribers up. And then Solo TV84 was jumping on his bandwagon and was going against another guy, a prominent guy in the MGTOW community, until they went to blows. And then Solo TV84 backed down from them. Same thing he did with DJ Academics when he made a story about DJ Academics and saying all these different things about DJ Academics, and DJ Academic has a bigger fan base than he do, and they came right after him and he backed down from that. So when he told me, when he said, well, you don't know, you don't know nothing, that shows me that his mindset, and he was just selling himself to be a ruler over men that he think is lower than him. You know, pretty much these guys out here like him and many other guys on YouTube and everybody else who take that, they are pretty much benefiting from the disadvantages of men so they can have their rulership over men who don't get nothing, so they can be the ones that everybody go to for information, and they can seem like they know it all, and they can have the most fame and games and everything else. A social shortcut. These guys are not going to go head to head with many other different types of guys on a higher echelon or even in the middle echelon. They're going to sit in one zone and pretty much rulership over people. They get a real energy boost when they hear people say, you changed my life and you did this. There's a number of guys that I can call out right now, because I'm too small for them, you know, be like, oh yeah, man, he too small. He don't show his face, blah, 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 right? You got guys like C Boogie who got dyslexia, but he talks about self-improvement, but he's not going to improve his dyslexia. Oh, go into the gym, but you can't read a book. Then he going to insult guys who read books, but when he came back from the so-called war or Afghanistan and his military training, who fixed him up? Was it a doctor or was it a jawline guy? Who gave him that medical stuff? Who gave him orders? Was it a guy who was big and bulky and who was a jawline guy? Or was it a guy who was old, not super in shape, giving him orders to be in another country? See, then you have Obsidian, who says people are broke, stingy, and cheap. And then you see him going from panel to panel to panel. You got guys like Sean King, who overall picks on a lower group of people who he think is lower than him, even though he could fit in that same category. He talks about beta males and incels, but the way he looks, he's not winning any competition with certain types of dudes. He not winning any competition with any dudes, but he always got in his title beta male, incels, and he's trying to make it a point. But every time you see in the beginning of his videos, he's trying to sell his book. So it's obviously he's trying to sell you an agenda. He's trying to sell you an agenda, right? All these guys, Roger Allen Curry, Ron Wells, all these guys who are in here, they have an agenda to make you see them as their top, as them being the king, them being the best, them being better than they are. They're never going to show the people who are above them. And I can tell you right now, I could dismantle all of their points right now, right? So we have guys out here who get off on the fact that, you know, social shortcuts where they just continually go into spaces and continually bash people over and over. They make fun of videos. They pick select videos to show you to fit their narrative and not show you overall. The funny thing about this is that why is these guys trying to tell you about women, but not the guys who get more women than these dudes out here trying to sell books, out here telling you what to do, how to get women? Why is any adult entertainer making any books about how to get women? Why they not on YouTube preaching how to get women and who's alpha and who's alpha and who's beta, and making videos about beta males and simps and stuff, and talking about who's non-select and select, when these dudes are they're in the pit of females. They seen it all about which every female out here. Why is it that these dudes who at the pinnacle of it, at the top of their game, the sexual game, in on women, and they can get probably almost any woman they want in any size and any shape in any part of the world, why haven't they made any books about how to get women? Why they're not out here bragging about who's alpha and who's beta male? Why are they not putting people down in these videos? It's because when you're on the top, why would you have to look at everybody at the bottom and make fun of them? When Michael Jackson was on top and the King of Pops, did you hear him out here talking bad about everybody? When most people are on the top, they're too busy being at the top position and doing what they can to be on the top position. And they understand that if they make too many enemies, they will literally burn too many bridges, where if they do fall, nobody's going to care about them. But these guys build themselves up from the ground up. And it was born with certain genetics, but they made sure that they didn't burn the bridges of other people that was below them. So you won't see these guys at the top, these men sitting here trying to sell you books about the American man and the man crisis, or trying to talk about the baby rail revolution when you know you was a part of that crap. They're not trying to sell you books. They're still out here grinding in a one particular way. They're trying not to exploit men, but to give men they're trying to give men pleasure. Or overall, one of my friends, my close associates, he's an adult entertainer. And he tells me a lot that when he sees certain guys that can't get something, he takes the guys on the set and get the guy something. And he tells me a lot of stories about some of these adult film stars passing women to certain guys, because women ain't nothing to them. They don't put women in a coin. You know, I'm gonna give you an analogy, right? These dudes, the difference between the adult entertainers and these dudes who on here selling books, and the guys on here that making fun of guys who can't get nothing and talk about sex dolls and all this other crap, is that these dudes love to have a certain type of card in their pocket, because they know they can easily get the card if they steal it from another man, or they overall use things to their advantage when they exploit men. You know, when everybody know when you used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, right? When Yu-Gi-Oh was real popular, you used to go on different stores buying a pack of cards to see if you got a good rare card, right? You used to go grab the card, and then you grab it. I mean, you used to grab the pack, pay for the pack and grab the pack and open it up as soon as you get it, and trying to see if you got a card that was going to be good to go against another person. So if you get the pack of cards and all of them are trash cards, you can't beat your opponent in a duel. This is how these dudes think when it comes to women. They have certain cards that they can beat certain guys with, and certain little talking points with, if they continue to be at the advantage of certain men they know that don't have it and don't have these type of cards in their pockets. So they know from the beginning that these dudes don't have the right cards to counter these dudes. So they will make sure that they are the ones with the best cards in their pockets, so they always win the duels. They would never ever go against somebody who has a better deck than they do, because then it would dilute their social shortcut. Right? You got oh, I didn't have it. Oh shit. I didn't have that picture. I was gonna make an analogy with about Mario and Sonic. But yeah, I could still do it. So Mario, right? Mario, and when you play the video game Mario goes through the stage and he has to bump his head on a block above him in order for the mushroom to come out, so he can grow bigger and he can gain an advantage on that level in that stage. These dudes are kind of like Mario and the mushroom, where they go to certain levels in specific areas, in certain categories, and they continuously always get the mushroom so they can go around and beat that level with that stage. They never go into a harder level in order to be able to use real skills to get through a stage in life where it is hard. They know that certain guys are not going to get that mushroom, so they can get bigger and beat the stage a lot faster and smash all the enemies in that stage. But them, overall, they are able to get that mushroom and grow bigger than the guys that they talking to about advice and selling books to, and selling advice and telling them consultations, and they're stepping on them all the time. Every single time they get that mushroom. Because I have to update myself on it, but with Mario, you don't always get that mushroom. That mushroom that makes you give you the advantage. Same thing with the Yu-Gi-Oh card analogy. Same thing with the Pokemon analogy. Pokemon is the same way. You have to get the best cards in your deck to versus your opponent. But these guys always seem to have the best deck because other people are giving them cards, or they're going around cheating and paying for the best cards and then acting like they're better than everybody else. That's what the social shortcut is. You're going into spaces and you're going teaching certain guys who need guidance, and you are exploiting them to your advantage by selling them books. I have the reasoning and why this is happening to everybody, and this is the crisis of men. Then you look at the guy and says, why are you speaking about beta males and incels when you yourself kind of look like an incel and a beta male? I don't see you in the gym. Then the guys in the gym, these guys got mental problems and all types of other problems, and they contradict themselves. If you're so alpha, why do you got to steal other men's cards so you can use it against them? These guys find all types of advantage on guys that they know they can beat. They never gonna go against another person with a better deck than they do. They're never gonna go against a person who got more mushrooms so they can grow better than them. They're never gonna do it. You know, and here go the qualities that these guys have. And you can do your own research, and I can show you automatically that what these dudes are doing. Half of these dudes are uncertified. No one gave them these titles. No one gave them the right to even give titles out to people. There's no government official way to give people titles and names and tell them that they can't get women. There's none of that. But these guys are all unqualified, and guys listen to them. Most of them are unqualified. That's one quality they have. All of them are not tested against other certain guys. They're unqualified. You can always take pictures with women. You can always get in a sexual position with women. But it's the way you come off. It's the way you talk to other people that shows you how certified you really are. These dudes are always burning bridges and always losing subscribers and always showing that they are not as good as they say they are. Because half of these guys who so-called know the game, none of them yet are at least a multi-millionaire from this dating game stuff. They're not a multi-millionaire, and I know that none of them are billionaires yet. But we want to say that they know what they talking about because they got a lot of videos and they talking about they've been in the field. You're not in the field. You're going in the same positions. You're going in the same ponds all the time. Half of these dudes don't know multiple languages who giving out advice. So how can they know about other people? Oh, they're interviewing certain guys. No, you're interviewing a subsection of guys who, just like you, they go a certain way. And they're going to tell you what they want to tell you what you want to hear, but they won't get a guy. These guys who do interviews will never get a guy who's in the middle. You always hear these dudes saying the same thing. Oh yeah, man, you need confidence. You need to work out. You need to do all this and blah, blah, blah. You need to do all that. And yeah, you need to do this and do that. But they always interview the same people. You see the same people on other people's platforms talking the same stuff. These guys are social climbers. In their own report, they went out with women who were at a higher level than them. But for them, they're using a female thing when they are wanting to gain a higher social status by stepping on other people. Just like Sean King. He wants to make himself seem like he's not the geek nerd guy that other people talk about by talking about other people who are geeks. He gonna badmouth Japan, all of Japan, and say Japan is a bunch of soy boys and they're a bunch of soy boys and they're beta males and incels. But dude, these guys make more bank than you and they're more creative than you will ever be. They got anime episodes that got 5,000, 6,000, 8,000 episodes and they're still running. You got people who created One Piece, people who created Naruto, Bleach, but you gonna badmouth a whole country because you're trying to sell your crusty book? And you're trying to sell comic books and comic books and stuff like that you know are not gonna go against anybody who creates stuff out of Japan? You go against anybody in Japan, any guy who you call an incel who's a beta male who gonna create a character and create a whole story map like Attack on Titan or One Piece, and you will lose. You will lose gram to gram, and they will make bank on you. But you gonna say that to about a whole bunch of guys over there because they herbivore, man, they got tired of working and they got tired of the system over there? Then you got certain guys on here who try to put down people talking about they're going out and getting people, they water boys and stuff like that. But these the same guys who always got disciplinary actions and they can't go against certain people. Or they kissing the ass of somebody else. They always got to do collabo. They always got to link up with certain people on here. You believe in a certain guy, and there's another dude on here, Kevin Samuels. The way he dresses effeminate. But everybody's taking his challenge. Oh, show your work. Show your work. Come on, man. This dude is making you fall into a pit. Because the fact is, if you show your work and these women don't like you, and the fact is they get mad the fact that you are doing better than them and doing better than the men that they consider alphas, they're going to try to use the law against you like they did me. And lie on you and cost you money. But you gonna show your work and show your face so you can get fired from a job? So a guy said this in one of his videos, Sir Tricks a Lot. He said the same thing, like, you know that if you say the kind of stuff you say online and you show your face, then your bank might drop all your money or take your money or something like that, or give your money away and you won't be able to get a bank because some banks are on that other agenda. Or you might get fired at a job because the female manager there is complaining about videos you making because it make her feel small. It make her feel some type of way. But they want you to lose your job based off what? This dude telling you to show your work? Are you serious? He really want everybody to sit back and show their faces and show their work. And the fact is, you don't need to show nothing. Because guess what? Guess what? Billionaires didn't show their work. Do you think billionaires gonna show their work? They know better. Because half of them stole half of their work that they get. Most billionaires have stolen from other people who, guess what? AKA showed their work. They showed their work and showed their premise and showed their lifestyle. And someone used it to their advantage, tried to gain an advantage over them, and took their ideas from them. So you telling guys to show their work, show their ideas, so they can get stolen from them, or show their identity, so they can be in a car there? Did anybody learn from what Tommy is going through with all these people who don't like his rhetoric and threaten him online all the time and doxing him every single time? But you gonna listen to a Kevin Samuels who wear a purse when we already know that there's other places where you can actually fit ID but you're gonna listen to a guy who dresses like that? I can understand if he dressed kind of GQ-ish, but he dresses like a feminine dude. And y'all taking advice from this dude? Show your work, show your face, show your work, show your face. But then it's always the males who got to show their work and show their face. But it ain't none of them women who had to show their work and show their face on live cam. Notice what they're doing? So most of these guys got a herd mentality mindset. I was on Sean King's video, and this one guy named Black Caesar was saying that you need to exterminate beta males and exterminate incels. And he's speaking like they did back in 1940s in Germany. Do you know when you go down that kind of road, when you talk like that, then that means you are confirming that. Because when Germany did that crap, guess who else did it? Who thought it was fine? One of their allies, Japan at the time. They did the same thing with camps and experimentations. So you want that to come back? So now you're going to be subject to that if somebody think that you are subject to that. Oh, if you want to go after two certain groups of people who you think need to get executed or whatever you say, then guess what? There's going to be a group of people who think you're going to get executed, and it's going to happen. But then you see these qualities of these dudes who got a herd mentality and they need to be in the crowd. You see it on C Boogie's C Boogie comment section, Roger Allen Curry comment section, Solo's comic section. You don't see nobody go against the grain. And when they do go against the grain, what do these people do? They block you, or they don't even reply to you. They want a herd mentality, and it's the same kind of rhetoric, but they on different platform, on different face, and they did say a different type of rhetoric. But it's the same thing of herd mentality. As I said, these guys are social climbers, social shortcutters, and this is what they do. They go into a place where they know that they can get more fans, and they can milk you dry from your money, your attention, and basically your mindset to make them feel like they are rulers over you, man. Half of these guys are opportunists. This is why they always selling books. Because back in the day, I'm gonna jump to that. These guys selling you books and monetizing your pain and your suffering because they see you as a come up. They see you as a stepping stone to a better social thing. And this is what get these guys women. This was to get these guys interview. This dude Axe Nate, he only gets women. Axe Nate only gets women because he take pictures and he gives these women attention in interviews, and he give these women a platform to set a rhetoric. Just like Solo TV 84, when he goes on there and he tells guys, don't talk about the women, don't go so hard on the women because I can't interview them. And then he interviews certain guys who have the same kind of platform. Then these guys be like, well, this is what you're supposed to do, and this is what you're supposed to do. And you never heard of these dudes. He had not one big celebrity on his platform yet. Same thing with so-called C Boogie, the select man, and Ron Worlds. I have a connection to a guy who's an adult in this entertainment industry. I'm not gonna bring him on. I'm not gonna let him do anything. He tells me different things and different types of adult entertainers and what the drama they in, and I go on their Twitter and I look at their Twitter and it matches what he tells me about these guys, about these females and the males. Shit that he told me I can't even tell you. I can't tell you about certain guys, but there's a lot of down low dudes in the adult industry that get more women. I can tell you that. But overall, some of these guys they're not really connected to the adult entertainment industry. They're not connected to Hollywood, because if they were, they would have pictures with them with celebrities. At least a couple pictures, at least like a 5-minute interview, or at least a question on their channels. These guys are opportunists. They know who to go and talk that crap to, and they know who not to talk that crap to. They'll never go to a top celebrity and call them a simp to their face. They never go to a basketball player. They'll make videos on here. Same thing with that other guy, Jada Black. He make videos on guys telling them simps and calling them all types of things, and he's a simp himself. I still listen to the guy because I use him as a kind of research kind of thing, but he would never ever say these kind of things to these guys' faces, because if he goes on anything just like Solo TV 84 did, he will get smacked down. Solo TV 84, he's seen that he wasn't able to go into that kind of field to go talk about DJ Academics. Yes, DJ Academics is a simp and everything, but you made a video about him and thought that he wasn't gonna catch the video, and then you was kissing his ass. Oh, I respect you. You did all this and did all that. But then you gonna call him names and stuff. And then when his fans challenge you, you back down. Because Solo TV 84 didn't make a video about him and the chick getting back together when they did get back together. Well, briefly got back together. But he didn't want the wrath. He know who to go to and who not to go to, just like C Boogie know who to go to, not to go to. This dude talking about non-select and select men, and you alpha and you select. If you so select, why don't you go after women who's single? Why don't you just keep dumping these women who have boyfriends and husbands? Oh, But y'all keep using the analogy of female nature and hunting. Oh yeah, man, men like to hunt. I never seen animals go after somebody else's food, another animal food, because they know the animal is gonna kill. The animal might take their head off and eat them. You never see a lot of animals go in another animal's territory and try to take their. You don't see wolves going into a cheetah territory trying to take their food. Are you serious? You never see elephants go into a place where some kind of, I don't even know the opposite of that. But you don't see animals going to other people's territory and take their mates. Do you see an elephant go and try to take a mate of a lion, or a hippo try to go mate with a bear? Do you see that? No, you don't see that. But you talk about the animal tribe and all this other stuff just to feel like they in a herd mentality. Some of these guys are so arrogant. And that's the thing that you see with all these guys. They think they know it all. They think they the best. They think they better than anybody else. The way you talk to people, it shows what kind of person you really are and what you about, and you got an agenda. If you keep talking about the same thing, putting people down all the time in every video, try 5 videos of these guys and see if they're not talking about a certain type of guys instead of staying in their own lane. They talking about guys staying in their own lane. Guess what? When I went back to my point early in this video about the adult entertainers, do you ever see them talking about guys outside the industry who can't get women? No. You ever see them sit there talking about, yeah, I slept with somebody's wife, ha ha ha, yeah man, you need to learn female nature, ah ha ha, you're not select. These guys don't know female nature, they're not red pill. These guys don't need to say this stuff. Their position in life already speaks for themselves. But these guys constantly have to berate guys and constantly have to be arrogant about it and constantly have to do that. And that's why they got challenges. If you stay in your lane and stop putting people down and stop putting examples for people, then people will be like, okay, I don't like your rhetoric, but that's not my lane. And I'm not going to go listen to your stuff. But once you start saying putting titles up there and talking about certain people, and then you erasing comments and you blocking people, come on, man. Then most of these guys got as I said, they got a superiority complex, man. They find fault in everybody who think differently than they do. They don't think that you can get women without getting bulk and having swag and having game. It always have to be some kind of fault to, no, they're using you. You doing that. These guys always have, some of them have performance anxiety. Some of them, not all of them. Because they're not going to go on the field where they're losing. Ask Solo TV84, would he go to a Drake concert and try to pull women there? Chris Brown concert, try to pull women there. Any kind of concert, go to and try to pull women there. Test his so-called skill game. Ask C Boogie, would he go walk up to, will he go to AVN? Will he go to the AVN Award? And this is the test that you should test these guys out. Why don't you ask these guys to go to an AVN Award and see if they can talk? They can get one of these adult entertainers at the AVNs. Go ask them that. Since they can get so many women, get that challenge. Can you bag an adult entertainer? Go to an AVN Award. Go to a Comic-Con Award. Go to that and use your game to get these women. And guess what? Show your work, right? Right? They crave attention. These dudes act just like women, posting pictures of them going to places and this and then that, and telling them that, oh yeah, I do this and I do that. These guys are so addicted to the woman, so addicted to women, that they always think that women are watching them. This is why they always have to put you down. They crave attention 24/7. Women think this is a woman quality. They crave attention. Even when no man is around and one dude is around, they have to stick their butt out or they'll go dance and jiggle around. Just like when these dudes are in these spaces, They'll go around waving their card of how many women they get. Or they walk around and try to talk about certain people that they know they shouldn't talk about. Incels and this and this and this and that. These guys, they sensitive to certain things. When you point out some of their flaws, they'll block you. They'll delete your comment. They'll back down. These guys always feel like they're being disrespected when you challenge them and tell them, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. Or, hey, that's baby and women. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. They try to doubt you all the time. They always feel like they always disrespected. And you see these guys who also they get women, and they always seem to yell at the top of their lungs. And then when they say they get women, you see them online thirsting over women online when you get women offline. These men are king of the landfills. They king of the dark. They king of the dirty trash landfills. Because they go into a place where they know they always the cleanest. They know that all these group of men are like all the trash in the landfill. And they try to teach them that maybe one day, if you buy my book, you listen to my rhetoric, and you listen to me and you subscribe to me, and you donate to me, then maybe one day you can be just like me. They're rulers over the landfill of men in society, or who they think is landfill men. And it becomes more crazy when you hear them talk and how they contradict themselves and the stuff that you don't see. I'm asking myself, like, if I was a guy who's talking about Danny coaches, I know when the avian awards go out, my friend that's a Don't Entertain Me tell me he want me to invite them out there, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going over there, man, because I don't know. It depends on the kind of star that's on in the avian, because I know how much of a, how they are. I say you ruined it for me, because I thought some of these females was a lot nicer, but I don't want to meet them face to face and they said something wrong to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going, and I'm never going to look at them again. It destroys my illusions of them. I seen them online, but I don't want to see them to their face, because then eventually I'll be like, I ain't a fan. I don't like your work no more, man. You corny. But these dudes, they feel good being the king of the landfill. They love walking around in they suits. They love walking around in their suits, and then with their better deck, they love walking around with their advantage over certain men that they feel that they're below. So these men think you are trash in the landfill, and they want to rule over you. These guys, overall, they don't want you to ever step out of they don't never want you to step out of the dating world, because you give them power. And I'm going to tell you many ways that you give them power, right? You are their plan. You are the second chance that their kids have for a better life. Even though if these guys have kids and they taking care of them, they would rather have a sucker or a weak guy taking care of their kids, so they don't have to spend all that money on the kids. They want you to come in and take care of their females that they damaged, but they also want to take over your life, because that's where their power comes in, right? They already imprinted on these females, so they got 1 foot in and 1 foot out of these women's lives. If they the baby father, or they the guy who give these women good sex, they can walk away from these females, but in the end, they can always come back down the line. I seen it happen. Guys who set up dudes with females, but they like, okay, I can't get a female on Friday night. Let me go call so-and-so. And they sleep with the dude's girl that he set them up with. They give them power It's a sick exploitation that they're doing with you, man. Just like these dudes who having all these kids. They love these dudes who talk about how they got game and swag and stuff like that. They even admitted it in some circles that they need the guys. See, Boogie said it himself. Hypergamy is good for society. We need these guys to be simps and weak men because they will marry the women because we won't marry these women. We gonna use them. What kind of man who says he know how to hunt and he's select man gonna say he need another man? If you can handle all these women and you getting all these women, then handle these women. Don't put that on another man, but guess what? They don't care. They're trying to put all their responsibilities onto the next man and make you pay a higher price for that woman and for that kid and for them drama and their trouble. They'd rather you pay for their kids' college tuition. They want to make you pay for their kids' birthdays and Christmas, and they want you to pay for their kids' health problems, health issues, and deal with it and tuck them away at night and read them a bedtime story because they want to be called the father without the responsibility, just like the women. They have qualities of a woman where women will have kids and try to put the responsibility on a guy that they never wanted to look at back in the past. This is what they do. These guys are willing to go out here and have as many kids as possible and know that other men are supposed to take care of them. Because these women don't want to turn off that good sex faucet. They don't want to turn that off. So they're going to keep these men, they're going to leave the faucet on for these men and they're going to just keep running up the bill. They're going to keep running the bill, and when the bill is due, they're going to give it to a guy. They're going to give it to a guy who they don't like, and they're going to make that guy pay that bill just to get the access that this guy already had. And they're going to keep leaving that faucet on, that expensive running faucet that keeps going on. And that expensive, that guy that got good sex and all this other stuff and got swag and all that other stuff, he's the expensive dude. He's the guy who don't have to pay the bill. You have to pay the bill, and they don't want that to stop. This is why they don't like guys who speak about sex dolls. They don't like guys who talk about traveling. They don't like guys who continue to complain. They don't like guys that confronts them and tell them about themselves. They don't like it because they want you to be something to them. They want you to either be the caretaker of their kids, someone who buys their books, someone who will listen to them and say, "Hey, you're my king." In less words than that. "Hey, man, you got good content, my man. I like your word video," and they like your comment, and they feel so, and they keep doing it, putting down other men, so you can be in their club. These women will make you pay the price of what other guys are going to make. They're going to make you pay the price of what other men are putting expenses on. See, these women they're going to have all these high super bills because they want to be around better looking men. So they're going to play around with you and make you pay for it so they can sleep off with the other men. Like I said in the other analogy, right? I like using this picture because it's simple. It's pretty much all the time. It's pretty much, it makes my point all the time in every videos. When you're different, they always jump you. They always try to jump you and team up on you. That's where the herd mentality that I said right in the previous before. These guys got a herd mentality. Once they pretend that they're a red pill, that's when they can actually use their fans. They come into a position of they're just like you. But then when they get what they want, you see who they really are. And then they find ways to get other people just like them to bully you, beat you up, whatever term you want to use to go against other people. These guys are irresponsible when it comes down to their sexual conquests. Some of these guys are passing around all types of diseases, and they get a chuckle out of it, of giving it to other men that unsuspecting. These guys love sleeping with other men's wives and girlfriends and knowing they got something, and they know they want to, have sex with a female without a condom on. So they'll walk around they'll walk around and sleep with multiple women and pass out all types of diseases and everything else to unsuspecting men. And it heightens up the high for them. It heightens up the high that they know that they got power over a female, but they also got power to give a man that is better than them what he has. So now he can say, yeah, he ain't so better than me now, because he got so and so disease. He got that now. What's up now? Yeah, you so smart now, but you slept with a girl that I slept with. It gives them power having women that they slept with. When you take that away from them, that's when they start shaming you. Why do you gotta go to another country to get women? Why you put women on a pedestal? You need to stay with you need to stay black women, because in the black women's in that little category, I dominate in that category. But if you go to white women and the other women, I can't follow you, and I can't give you the diseases I have, and I can't take your girl. If you go to Japan or go to the Middle East or go to a remote country, I can't follow you over there and take your girl, man. Why are you going to other countries to get women when I need you to be over here so I can sleep with your woman and maybe give you a disease so I can feel better than you? Because it's always a competition for me. I'm Mr. Select Man. I take other men's wives and girlfriends. I make other men pay my bills because I'm too broke. This is what these guys got. These dudes use women as mushrooms, cards, all types of things, like sonic rings. They collect all the rings in themselves, and they cash it in at the end of the level. Women are like it's like something to go against other men. They're like, I got the women. You guys are weak. I got the women. You guys are weak. You guys are weak. Why are you going your own way? That sounds homophobic, man. Why? Who goes their own way? If you don't want women around you, you must like men. Oh, you must like men. Oh, wait. And that takes away the women's powers too, because women can go into a group of men who have, that's like, if two women go into a group of men that's 10 men, and she can make at least 8 of them turn against 2. And then she's giggling it up while 2 guys getting bullied and shamed. And then the other woman will whisper in the other girl's ear, yeah, that guy over there, the one right there, he got a little bit of money. You can use him while you mess with number 1. And this and that. This is what they do. They get into men's spaces, because if it's all men, they're not going to care about no female and then care about female validation, right? But if you bring women into your spaces, or why you don't want to be around women, that sound kind of fruity, like you want to be around men. No, the reason why certain guys want to be just around men is because they don't want that kind of manipulation going on. Because once women walk into the picture, women don't respect skill set from men. They only respect what they want to respect. So if there's 10 men who all skilled, but there's 2 men who are highly skilled, better than all 8 other guys, the women are going to go by who look better and who treats them better and who fits their category. So the 2 guys who are mostly skilled, better than all 8 of the guys, will get bullied and be told that they need to be just like those men and take them away from what they are good at. So this is why you hear things like, well, you must be that. And the guys who need women will say the same thing too. I need a woman to confirm my superiority among another man because I can't really be the man physically. Because if it's another guy that I know who a Muay Thai guy. He know Muay Thai. Man to man, he'll knock out half of these dudes who talking about they got game and swag. But with women, he's not, he don't show that he good with women. He's low key about it. But there's a lot of people who test him out and women talk about him. Look at the way he looks. Look at the way he dressed. Not knowing that this man is a Muay Thai guy. He's a good Muay Thai fighter. And they don't care. They take looks and how they feel over the guy's talent and skills. And that's what we have in the dating world right now. This is why a lot of men don't want women in their spaces. Because women are not, they don't play the fair to the rules that are put up there. They try to destroy it. Case in point. These guys, these females, will downplay any man's success and achievement based off what he looks like. This is Bill Gates. This is Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world. He never was a guy who had a 6-pack. He never was a guy who dressed it nice. Just like the guy next to him is a billionaire. But if guys like Bill Gates and the guy next to him brought women into their circles, the woman would divide up and say Bill Gates and this guy right next to him is lame. They cornballs. They're weak. They're lame. And they will downplay their achievements and their money based off looks and based off how they feel. Jeff Bezos. He don't dress nice. But he has more money than all of the people who dress nice. But I bet you if women didn't know that he had money and his success rate was all high, they will distinctly tell him that he's a loser, he's a weirdo, he's this and he's that, he can't talk to women, he's blah, blah, blah. The same thing with the men who do that. You got Mark Zuckerberg, who don't even dress that nice. He don't even dress well. He got the same type of shirts inside of the closet. But he's a billionaire. And no one could take that away from his achievements. But if he let women, if he allowed women to come in his space and in his whole atmosphere, he will be reduced to looks and how he makes them feel. Another billionaire who don't dress nice and who got a gut. But you, go tell these guys to go tell these guys to self-improve and go to the gym. See, that's the whole difference between certain societies. They respect men on their talent and their skill. And they base it off that, like, okay, this man did this and this, that. I think I'm more attracted to that than I'm attracted to this type of guy. This guy right here can keep me in a space and in an atmosphere where I don't have to deal with all of this crap that everybody else have to deal with. And that's what other women think. But the low tier women who do look good, they think about looks and all this other stuff. That's why they always on the ground. But this is a fight that's going on with these guys who take advantage of men. They never go up to these rich billionaire guys. You'll never see C-Boogie go one-on-one with a billionaire and tell him, if a billionaire came up to him and said, yo, I can't get women. Oh, you need to do this and do that. He'd be like, but I'm a billionaire, dude. Oh, no, but you need to do that. You want to get women? No, but I'm still a billionaire, man. and he'd be looking stupid, just like anybody else I named out. Even Obsidian would sit back and say he a man of means. But if a multi-millionaire come up and said, I never speak that way, and I'm a man who makes this amount of money, he'd be stoned. But he can say this. Obsidian and all these other guys can say these kind of things. They can say these kind of things because they're not in those social classes. They're trying to get in those social classes by stepping on they're stepping on their their supporters and the people that give them money, so they can get to that. Derek Jackson is not a high tier guy, because remember, Derek Jackson tries to go at a lot of celebrities and they don't pay him no mind, because they have more money than him and they're more skilled than him. They don't have to retaliate to him just because he got women. They're like, man, I'm a superstar. I'm like, get out of here, man. I'm a master in my own. I'm a master in my own world, and my own thing that I took up. I'm a master of I'm a master at my own craft. I don't care what you say. Just because you get women, I'm still the master of my craft. Another billionaire, Elon Musk, he don't dress that well. You don't see him in suits all the time. But they want to brag about, Kevin Samuels want to talk about how, you got to dress up in suits and stuff, and you got to be presentable and all that. But these billionaires are not dressing up in suits like that. They only dress up in suits when they making money. And I'm telling you right now, and this is my advice to men, you don't get nowhere without impressing anybody that's a VIP in life. The movers and the shakers of the world, you supposed to impress them. They make everything happen. Once you impress the movers and the shakers, the people that I previously showed, them billionaires, once you impress those guys, you get to another social class. Every athlete had to go try out in order to get impressed by a coach. For them to play in the league, they had to pass by a whole team of VIPs. In order to be a multi-billionaire, you have to be given a pass to VIPs of the world. In order to be a movie star, you have to be in the casting or do something for a guy who is important. But what these guys are doing to y'all, not me, because I don't support none of these guys. They're using you for a social climate. They're using you. They're shortcutting it by getting money off of you and using you as a stepping stone, so they don't have to impress a VIP. They're taking a shortcut. And these people don't understand, and I'm going to tell you this right now. You don't have to wear suits. You don't have to even look nice. You have to look nice for the right ones. If you know there's a certain type of person that you want to impress to get a job, what you got to do, dress up. If you want to dress all bad and you have all these clothes and you don't have haircuts and you're not going to the gym and you're not Mr. Select, but you see a group of women that you want to go, then you analyze the cost of what you need to do to impress that VIPs or them VIP people. You choose who are the VIPs of your life, and you know who are the VIPs of the world and in society. You get impressed. You impress the VIPs, and dudes on here who sitting there using you will have to look at you and make stories about you. They don't understand. This is why they making shortcuts. They selling books and telling you online on who this is and select and non-select, because none of them are VIPs. They want the VIP treatment. They want the access the VIPs have in life, but they just not. They're not there. They can't get there because VIPs One quality that VIPs have, they don't burn bridges. VIPs know that you don't talk down to any potential person that you can teach and give your knowledge to. You can teach this. You can make somebody. You can give somebody a more better abilities that you have, and you can create a carbon copy of yourself in another person. VIPs knows the ability to pass on their knowledge to another person or human being without just having kids. Companies, VIPs who have companies who pass down people and create things, and their students, they always connected to that VIP, and then that student become a VIP themselves. It takes work, not just self-improvement. It takes a lot of work to be a real VIP of the world. It takes work, and that means that yourself, if you want to be a VIP, you have to pay attention to only the VIPs. Not people who pretend to be VIPs, but people who are really VIPs of the world. You have to bust your behind to impress a VIP, because impressing them is better to impressing a VIP woman or man is better than impressing a person who's below them, because you're never going to get anywhere with these people. You're buying books and they letting you down. They turning their back on you. They spitting in your face. They spitting in your ideology. They're spitting in everything you're doing, and they're worrying about the money only. And they're worrying about views and worrying about them getting to another status, another social status. But when you dealing with VIPs, they're there already. They're VIPs pulling you up. They don't have to use guys. They pulling you up to make themselves more solidified in a VIP status. These guys are not VIPs, and you have to understand when you're when you're dealing with people. There's people who are very important people, and there's people who want to impress the very important people. But you have to know that you can't waste your resources trying to impress everyone. This is why I say you don't have to dress up to get women. You just have to impress the right woman. Then all these other women gonna follow behind them. Just like when all these guys who say they leave the country and they marry somebody else. They marry an Asian woman, they marry a Latino woman, they marry somebody. And guess what? All these women who never liked them, who old and beat up and she with him for money. She with him because he must be packing. She with him because this. They're mad that they were wrong. That you were able to impress the right woman that looked better than all of them, and you got her with just you being you. And you updated yourself when you started going with this woman. Because I've seen tons of men who didn't have to self-improve and go to the gym and have swag and game and have a lot of money, who dated a VIP girl or VIP woman. And then the next minute you know, he's with this chick and he improving himself. He like, man, I got this bad looking chick right here, or whatever you want to call her. He like, I got this beautiful one right here. She don't deserve this gut. She don't deserve this. Let me jump in this gym. And he progressing, so while he with her, while he next to her, and she sees it and she like, I like this transformation. I'm happy I picked this dude right here. And then the women are mad that now you look good, but they're not VIPs. The best revenge is not being mad over what these women pick. It's them getting mad when you do get picked by somebody else. That's the best revenge. The best revenge is watching them running around in chat rooms, mad at the world, trying to go back and forth with a person online, or them getting mad and saying men ain't crap, or saying certain things online, and you're sitting there and saying, I was right. The best revenge is you being right. The best revenge is seeing these guys' life play out the way they are. Seeing them walk around in circles. Don't be one of these dudes who get milked for their money by giving these dudes money. Stop having these guys rule over you. Take what you can take from them and don't support them 100%, man. Support people who support people who you know is genuine, who got rhetoric in the beginning of when they first came online. If it's them talking online, them having a Facebook group, them telling you this and that, before you buy this person's book, know if they're gonna know all the qualities that you're giving support to. And if this person is real and they haven't changed not one bit in the last 2-3 years, then you stick with them, then you give them money, then you support them. But don't blindly give these guys support and make them feel like they VIPs. They're not VIPs. They low status people. They're not VIPs. They're low status people who want to get at a VIP position. Because they always go in circles where the people who are the outcasts, they're selling the outcasts and the so-called red pill men. And the red pill, I'm gonna say it in this video, and this video might be super long, but I'm trying to cut it down. You got a lot of people out here who are fake pills. I call them fake pills. They come in the beginning and they sell you a dream, and they go hard on the women and stuff, and then they change their tone up because they want money and they want the status. Like I keep telling you, they want that status, they want that status. But then when you hear them talking about it, when they talk about their life, and you see that they're going out shows, they going to places, they show you they going to art museums and clubs. Why they ask you for donations? What, to talk about you? They try to tell you, contradict you? I mean, these guys come in, and that's the ultimate scam now. I'm going to say it in this video too, where red pill is now a scam for guys who like to exploit other men. Red pill, MGTOW, and all types of things for men are now a scam now. You got it with that dude Yogi. You got it with C Boogie, who in the beginning was talking red pill. You got guys like Roger Eric Curry who walk around saying all these things, but then taking shots at incels and stuff like that, when most of the people who probably go to him, clients, are incels and betas. But hey, he be like, oh, I'm not talking about you, man. I'm talking about the guys who don't want to take my book and take my advice. You know, it's a new scam now. And now women are now catching on to this, and they're trying to counter it with the guys who they always pick that are failures, but they like, we got to get these guys. We have to get these dudes. We got to get the top men that we like the much to convince these guys to get the guys that we don't like to stop traveling, to stop being around only men, so we can hear their plans, and we can create a playbook, a counter playbook. That's the reason why they think that MGTOW men they like only men, because they want to hear the conversations of what MGTOW men are going to do against them. They want to hear that. That's the reason why they're in the red pill. No woman can be a red pill, because when you see the language that some of these women who say they so-called red pill, they're shaming guys. Red pill men, real red pill men, don't shame guys at all. We shame guys who deserve it. But we don't really all out here and keep using the terms and stuff like that. We sit back and say, okay, that guy don't like women. Okay, I'm going to leave him alone. I know the truth about these women. These guys are lost. And they just move on with some things. This red pill MGTOW is now it's a social shortcut for low status people. And it's a scam for guys who just want to make money off these people who are red pill, who going through red pill rage. They want to make money from incels and so-called beta males. They want to make money from a lot of people, and they are making money. I'll give one guy his credit. Alpha Male Strategies. People was talking about how he got high-powered people give him money because the crisis and all the stuff that's happening in America, and these guys can't get women. I give him credit for that. But also, he's a guy who also exploiting these guys. He get power from knowing that he more skilled men go to him to ask for his advice. Overall, it makes him feel important. Doctors, lawyers, all these other people who did the work, more work than he ever would do. But it gives him power, like I said, rulership, exploitation, money grabbing, arrogance, all this other stuff that, I said before. It's like, dang, they really taking advantage of guys because women decided that they wanted to flip the game, to flip the rules upside down. And I'm going to go to that. We got situations like this in a dating market that these guys are not telling you. That you can be set up by a female. See, the guys who tell you that, oh, black women are good. There's good black women. There's good black women. There's good black women. There's good black women. You just have to find them. But they don't tell you who you have to go through and how many dates you got to go through to get to these so-called good black women. You might be the one who associated with guys who might set you up and take you out and take your stuff. That listen to these dudes. And you say, I wanted the easier route. I don't want to go through all these bad women and might get robbed or my money. I'm wasting my money on these women and stuff when I could be investing my money or building my money or spending my money on something that's going to last a lot longer than this day of me spending that. But they want you to go through that whole list of crap because they want power over you. Because guess what? They know that black women rule black community. So, in order to get to you, a person who's more skilled than that guy, or he might want something that you have, he might cozy up to your wife. If he a dirty moralist man, he'll sleep with your wife or your girlfriend in order to get a deal with you and also get some sex on the side. Stay with the black queens. Stay with the good black women because, hey, there's some good sisters out here. You just gotta find them. You have to go through all this and spend all your money and do all this crazy stuff. But guess what? That means we all connected. If you build something, then I can go grab it. I can go be a part of your stuff by your girlfriend. Because this is the politics they try to play with you. They're playing politics too when it comes down to black on, black first, black this. Because if you got a black woman, your black woman gonna try to convince you into getting involved with this dude or getting involved with this person and getting involved with this guy or be friends with this person or go to this place and go to that. If you don't have a black girlfriend or a black wife, you have no incentive to work with another black person. You're like, come on, dude, that sounds weird. I don't want to work with you, dog. Like, come on, man. I ain't helping you out. But instead, they really want you to sit back and waste all your time going through all this mountain of bull crap. And you might get caught up like what this guy did, what this guy got involved with. Books and information was really meant to be given to a certain select group of people, right? Sun Tzu created a book of Art of War. And I don't know his intention was for everybody to understand Art of War. Because this is the original of what Sun Tzu, this is the original book Sun Tzu put out. This is the original thing, I think, of him writing Art of War right here. I think he was giving it to a select group of people. And then everybody grabbed it and they started selling the information. And everybody started using this Art of War analogies and stuff like that. When you give people the wrong information and you give them the wrong skills and talent, they'll use it for, they'll distort it. This is why for me, it's a way where some information ain't supposed to be known to the world. It's supposed to be known to a select group of guys so they can understand it and they can be able to translate that information out there in a correct context. Unlike these guys on here, they always taking the art of war and 48 balls of power and they always putting it to their own agendas. And it's like, it wasn't meant for that, man. You know, like the military. You know, there's a structure in the military that some people might say is corrupt, but overall, you have to put your work in to show that you're worth being in it. You're worth your rank. Some of these guys who exploit men, they don't show the work that they worth their rank. Because if anybody asks them certain questions, they stutter and they just don't, they block you. And they get mad and they ignore your questions and ignore what you're saying. They don't counter what you're saying. This is why it's good to have structure, kind of like the military. You know, it's just like karate. It has levels of black belt where you have to work your behind off just to get black belt. You have to dedicate your life to a certain art form in order to get that highest rank in there. And even when you got the highest rank, you still trying to go for a higher rank. In the so-called dating community, and these guys who exploit men, they put that title on themselves. There's no official government and no official top level leadership that all society where you get a certification, you get a button, you get a stamp that you are good at women. Like you getting a black belt. So these guys get to come out the woodwork based off small percentage of stuff that they doing in a city, and they're not doing it overall. There need to be a regulation. There need to be some structure in that. If it was structure, you will see how many of these dudes wouldn't make the cut of getting women. If it was regulated on this dating stuff, you would see a lot of these guys fall off because they wouldn't make the cut. And the guys that you think wouldn't make the cut is making the cut. All these dudes do is sell you books. 1,000 books on what they think is something going to do, so they can feel more important. They're not out there to give information to guys, because overall, if you're willing to give out information, man, you'll take a group of people of 20 guys, give them some rules and some regulation on the information that you give them, and say, y'all earn this information. If you really care about people, you give them information based off their work, based off them putting their own work in, and them overall giving you results for them to get more information out of you, the stuff that you know. But you giving it out in the book, showing that you just want money. You're not trying to give this. You're not trying to help men. You using men for money gains. These are the type of dudes who will sell you information on a hurricane that's coming, so they can make a little money on the side. Hey, yo, man, it's a hurricane coming. I got this book right here to tell you what hurricane does, what hurricanes is, and where the hurricane is going to come from, and what the hurricane's like. But then I'm going to tell you this right here because you are in a place where it's hurricanes. So I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell y'all about how hurricanes are. But just buy my book, download it on this site, and I'm going to tell you about the hurricanes. Because I know about hurricanes. I know about hurricanes better than anybody. I'm the master of the hurricanes, of knowing where the hurricane's at. I went to over this place over there. My friend, is this and that, and he a master. He did the hurricane and listened to my spiel about the hurricanes. I'm the master of hurricanes, so read my book about hurricanes. Oh, it's storms outside, man. I'm the master of hurricanes. I mean, I'm the master of storms, man. There's thunderstorms. I'm gonna sell you this book to tell you how to deal with hurricanes and why hurricanes is happening. I mean, I keep saying it, wow, thunderstorms is happening. Buy my book on Amazon and Amazon Prime and all this other stuff. You're going to know the answers on why storms are created. There's no real structure in the so-called dating world and the dating market and all these people who give advice. I respect the mob structure. You had to work your ass off in order to be a made man. And that was the lowest form in that organization, was being a made man. A lot of these dudes are not even made men when it comes down to the dating. They're not even the boss of the dating world. The bosses of the dating world in society are the adult entertainers, the celebrities, all these different people who should be out here giving these ranks to these guys. But you giving these guys in the VIPs as well. There is no Kappa regime. There is no underboss, no capos. There's no made men. These guys out here who giving these advice, they're associates. And they're trying to be in that made men status. But ain't nobody there to regulate them, to tell them, dog, you ain't a made man yet. You're not a made man. You got to do this and do that and do this. Oh, but I know the women. I know the underground, sexual underground. No, you still not a made man yet. You haven't reached this rank. You haven't reached this number of women. You haven't talked to this, how many conversations. You ever notice that adult film stars and certain guys and celebrities have a head count on how many women they mess with? But then you go to these so-called game and these guys who know about women and all this stuff, and they can't even tell you how many women they bagged, and they can't tell you how long their conversations is. I talk to, like I said, my friend or so-called, friend or associate, whatever you want to have it, because we cool. I seen him, once a time when he comes to the city, like once a month when he comes to the city to visit his family, and he tells me some crazy stories. So we are considered friends. He told me overall how many conversations he has with women, how long the conversation goes on, how much he has to spend. And all he has to do is say he's an adult entertainer, and the women interested in it. They all wanting to see what makes him an adult entertainer. He using what he is to his advantage. A guy like him can tell you overall where these guys belong at. But there's no official guys out here, no real commission of the dating world that would literally have a system that's actually giving out people positions and say, hey, that guy right there is legit. He's certified. He's a made man in this dating world. I saw videos. I saw pictures. I confirmed it. I asked him to do a couple things. I had an interview with him. I had a one-on-one with him. He helped X amount of people that I know. And he's the made man. We don't have that. There's no structure in this so-called dating world and everything else. This is why everybody come with terms and stuff. And women don't like these type of structures. In the mob right now, I mean, not right now, but was the mob, did it downfall because of the women in there? How many women knew the ins and outs of the mob when the mob was going on right now out there back when at its height? How many women were able to sit at a round table talking about who's ugly and who's not? They had so much power in the 80s and in the 60s and the 70s and the 50s and the 40s. They never let women come in on their business. They even had a thing with that where they say, we don't discuss business in front of women. But you want to sit here and bring these women on, talking about they select and non-select, and you letting them pick who's good looking, who's not? And you call yourself some kind of guy who give out advice and people come to you? Overall, you should leave these women out of it. But I'm going too long. I said what I wanted to say. And you can take it how you want. But I'm just sick and tired of the guys out here who being used. And I'm tired of these guys being like, I want y'all guys to smarten up. When there's a next Obsidian or a next Roger Allen Curry that comes down, or a next Ron Wells or a next Solo TV 84, or any of these guys on here, or even on the white side, if you're white listening to me, or you somewhere across the country, teach the younger generation about these dudes. Teach them about these guys so they don't be used, so they don't worship none of these guys, and teach them these guys without doing what these dudes are doing to other men. There's always a better way of teaching guys how to get women without bashing other men. There's always ways to give guys many options without asking for money